Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to Casa Street Fighter 5. We are at the top 8 of week. I know the Matcherino says 19. I think it's the tournament week 24. That is unimportant. What is important is I am Brad Muse, joined by Shadow Ace here with the first match of our top 8 with some creative solutions for Marvisto and Mooons, both playing from the same house. But how you doing, Shadow Ace? How are you enjoying tonight so far?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How are you?
I mean, I'm not gonna say I can't complain, but I'm not gonna complain because I'm sitting here and I'm enjoying some nice cold brew coffee, and apparently I'm about to watch a Ken mirror. Is what we're about to witness.
We're
These
about to
guys,
start.
the LI.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the LI guys are putting me through the ringer in the mix-up earlier. Every time I look up, it used to be that I felt like I could judge based on the character what I was, who was playing, but apparently I don't get that anymore, as it looks like, okay, he's back. Yeah, I used to feel like I could judge based on what character was being played, who I was about to witness. I could trust that if it was a Ken, it was Diego. But apparently that ain't true anymore. Diego's been playing Ryu, Marvisto's been playing Ken. Everything's upside down. Cats are sleeping with dogs on, cat trees. Who knows what the hell's going on anymore?
Right. And this is interesting because we have the four horsemen of Long Island that entered this event, and you can always expect them to do pretty well in this bracket, regardless of the level of competition that's in it. And in special situations like these, we're starting off top 8 already with the contingency plan of Long Island, both Marvisto and Diego. Let's see, or is it?
Well,
Moons?
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
even double checking the bracket, it's Marvisto and Moons, which is
Okay,
double
Marvisto and
mix-ups because I associate Moons with Cody, but not even gonna get that tonight. We do still have Diego, however, up in the top 8 on the loser's side with a matchup against Psychotic Chaos from New Jersey. So we do have the other half, or one of the remaining quarters of the Four Horsemen of LI.
And let me see. Give me one moment here. Try to some technical difficulties on the way, so I can share on the screen here. All right.
Yeah, for context, for those of you watching at home, because Moons and Marv are both playing from the same location, they are attempting to stream share their own local match so that we can see it.
Let's see. Yeah, it's fighting with me on my end here.
Yeah, likewise. I don't know what I assume that they had started, but we're still not seeing anything from them just yet. Okay, loading
Okay,
in.
here we go. Okay, I see something on my end. You see something on your end?
Yep, and
I hear music. I hear music, so we're making progress.
yep, and the Cody on the screen, which tells me that some is right with the world. Marvisto is still putting me through the ringer with the Ken pick, but Moon's still sitting on Cody.
All right, so still loading here, but we're almost. Looks like it's fighting with us to get it, but hopefully it can sync up and we can get started.
Yeah,
okay,
I get the impression. Yeah, I think Marv was trying to make sure that everyone could see everything properly and that the stream was all set up, but it looks as though we are rectified.
Round 1. Fight.
Now, I love whenever the LI boys are playing against one another because you always see the crazy amount of roommate reads that happen. You know that they play against each other so much.
Give me a few moments here. Should be catching up quite soon. Actually, let me try something.
I liked Marvisto there using the empty overhead there just as a means to cheat forward some space. The pocket sand, we were talking about that even in the staff chat a little bit earlier as an option. And the rock going up to bait the reversal. Moon's in a dominant position here to win out this first round. Oh no! The high ruffian whips, but no punish from Marvisto.
All right. Back in action. I think I solved the problem, so I can join you now.
blast to the pipe,
Nice.
but the EX Zonk. Sometimes the best neutral is anti-neutral.
Round 2.
Look, you never know until you swing, right?
I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You're +2 on block and he burns a V reversal so you don't get a mix? Oh, the worst that can happen is he jumps and punishes you, but...
All right. Okay, doing good control on the corner here. All right, now here comes Mooons. Goes to the corner. The EX hits his mark. There's the activation. Let's have some fun, he says. Yo, it's not fun getting done like this.
Yo, hit him. Yo, he hit him with the Twitter combo video. Yo, this character's got some sauce. Look at this full V trigger, full super 2-bar reset. When they just dropped, hitting him with that stuff, the optimal stun.
And good stuff on Mooons taking that first game here. But Marvisto with the Ken pick, you know, I seen him go Ken last previous Casa, so I'm interested in what he sees in this, because he didn't go Ken previously in his other match, so he decided to bust out the Ken here.
Well, so we've seen Marvisto playing a lot of E-Honda, and when he's deviated from Honda, what we've seen is Ryu. I wonder whether the Ken pick is just a question of like wanting to pick, either just picking a different Shoto for terms of a different flavor, or Ryu obviously not super strong in terms of the strength of the Shoto characters right now, maybe a slight jump up. But if that's the reason, why would you ever just not pick Akuma if you want to pick a strong Shoto?
Exactly. Why get a character that covers almost all the options? Nice, good jump over though. Full damage and corner control. What's the mix? Like my buttons go the dash now?
Yo, that dash was ballsy, and that's a roommate read. You don't dash on somebody when you're stuck in the corner about to die. Yo, shoutouts to Ajax out of CT for giving me roommate read. I can't take credit for that.
The roommate read, I love it. All right.
Making great use of the V skill too here in this matchup is Mooons, really utilizing that back sway very well, I think.
Nice cross-cut DP. Oh, try to do the pocket sand as you called it out earlier. Good stuff. Yeah, a lot of stun building up, but here comes Mooons. The chain
rock. Oh my god.
Swing. Man, these guys are just slugging it out. That's big damage. Of course he's gonna spin the cash. Why wouldn't he? Fills his stamp. And right now, Mooons is sitting on set point, looking to put this Ken down. Ken is not out yet.
I think it's 3 out of 5 for top 8, if I'm not mistaken. Bunch will come in and yell at me if I'm wrong, as he is apt to do. I honestly don't recall what we do, and I should at this point, because as I said, it's been 24 weeks. But yeah, the disadvantage, right, of spending that super in that round, obviously it secures you the round, which you really want. But now you're in this back foot situation. You're down all this meter against Marvisto. It's going to be tough.
Good
Still
crossway.
great. Yeah, and a really dominant position. Ooh, the backdash.
Caught it. Just no.
You might be dead. You're dead.
Oh, those are the roommate reads, like you called it. Like you said before, the roommate reads. Like, I know you're trying to get away from this pressure, but you're not getting away today.
Yo, Marvisto had all the groceries in his hand. In his left hand, he had the dairy. In his right hand, he had the stuff for the cabinet. And Mooons caught him in the doorway. Like, yo, you got that 5 I owe you? No, he didn't. He didn't have that 5 he owed him.
And then he caught an EX bingo for his troubles. He's like, yo, where my money at?
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. So, yeah, back to character select. So I'm going to operate under the assumption that it is supposed to be 3 out of 5. And we are seeing the switch over to Ryu. And I've always wanted to ask him. First of all, why Ryu? Especially Ryu's probably not been strong in Street Fighter V since maybe season 1. Certainly not since Akuma joined the roster, let alone why the justification for migrating over to Ken. And I love his Ryu.
It's an interesting choice. I think actually Marvisto might want to try Akuma next. Maybe he's just, like you said, he's just trying out the Shotos. You know, he has Ryu, he has the Ken, so Akuma may be next on the list, or maybe even Dan. Who knows?
Dan doesn't count. Dan's the only person with a Shoto kit that isn't a Shoto that I will die on the hill is not a Shoto. Because the whole joke is he's not a Shoto.
Oh, man. the try hard Shoto. All right, nice. I think again, man, just this relentless offense for Mooons right now, looking really clean here.
And it's all of these backsways through. He's so aware of the ranges where Marvisto is going to throw a fireball or cancel into a fireball. And on top of that, it's not just obviously being able to get around the fireball game, but on top of that, you've also obviously got the impact that it has on the V meter game. Are we going to see a reset? No, just going straight for the knockdown throw, not going to kill. One more mix for it.
That's it. The standing light kick, the toe tap, the stretch your legs, the calisthenics is going to end up taking it.
Wins.
The stuff from Mooons there, taking it 3-0 over the roommate. Now you're going to be the one to take out the trash for the whole week.
You know what's extra tough about that is I'm sure that's a situation, right? Like that block string into EX Fireball into sweep is a trap that I'm sure Marvisto is so commonly aware of. But I wonder if switching between the Shotos is making for stuff to be just a little awkward in terms of how you end up approaching certain spacing traps. Like I wonder if that whiffs because he's in a Ken mindset. Do you get what I mean?
Right. It's the way he's playing the match too as well. It seems like the way he was playing Ken, it didn't seem like a Kenish type playstyle. It seems more like he was conditioning like on a Ryu mindset. He was operating on a Ryu mindset. We didn't see too much explosiveness from him. And Mooons is pretty much overwhelmed as far as like the offense goes. So I think Marvisto's still trying to adjust to, you know, the Ken, but he has.
Excuse our momentary blip as we realign now that we no longer need to compensate for the Four Horsemen. I'm sorry, your thought was interrupted in the middle there.
Oh no, that's okay. I was just saying they just play two different archetypes as far as like Ryu and Ken. I mean they have the same kit as far as approach goes, but tool wise, I think their tools are completely different. And Mooons sort of just took advantage as far as like the offense goes, and just did like relentless pressure. But by then he was already conditioned into the set. He was already up 2-0. So the Ryu pick toward the end just didn't seem like it was doing as much as it could. But in the end, Mooons takes it 3-0.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously Marvisto's still in the bracket. Oh no, I'm looking at the lineup of that top 8, and Marvisto plays the winner of our other loser side top 8 match of Diego and Psychotic Chaos, which means we may well have to go back to our technical solution if we end up with a Marv versus Diego match, but Psychotic Chaos could stand in the middle of that. Obviously, the other half of our loser side top 8 was Mung Yomi and Shin Akuma, and that was played off stream with Shin Akuma taking it, which means Shin Akuma in the loser side will be playing the loser of our next match in Fluxwavez and AlexDotDot.
All right, sounds like some good stuff. Very strong lineup. As for this top 8, of course, thank you everybody for tuning in and watching some Casa Street Fighter 5 action. You guys are just tuning in, go ahead and get the information on the bracket. You want to see what we're seeing as far as the players goes, hit that exclamation mark bracket link. Also, we have a Matcherino available with the exclamation mark Matcherino. Donate a free 50 cents to the pot for the hard work for all these players are putting in right now. Pot sitting over at $80 right now. Definitely do appreciate all the support from all donors and Patreons for tonight's event.
It warms my heart to see the support from everybody on that platform. And Fluxwavez bringing out the R.Mika. Whenever I see Fluxwavez in a top 8, the conversation is always about what character did they pick. Obviously, we most commonly see Poison, but a very strong Mika and a very strong Manat as well. Pulling out the Mika here in this Blanka matchup.
Okay, interesting. Both play styles pretty explosive as far as offensive goes, especially as party time definitely once that meter gets into the fray. But oh my god, yo, these Blanka balls are hitting their mark right now against Flux.
Yo, you said party time? Excellent. AlexDotDot literally just dashed across the screen on Fluxwavez. nonstop a couple of times. And I have to imagine the justification for the Mika pick is probably that Poison and Manat both want to play a more methodical mid-screen game. And I imagine you just don't feel as though you get to do that at Blanka. So why bother doing it? Just play Blanka's game, but better. Ooh, the V-trigger activation, gonna get the whip punish. Do you get the die? Yes, you do.
Yes, Alex gonna take full advantage of that with Peach. Don't be throwing it in my face, yo, like that. Please. I have enough dollars. All right. We go next round.
Oh my god.
Now the Blanka balls again. Make their mark. Ugh. Oh,
Alex doesn't care at all.
No, and I think that's actually a good mindset to have because you're so nervous about playing a certain way, especially against certain players. You kind of like throw yourself off. So if you play that unorthodox style, that might catch your opponents off guard.
And this is tough. It seems like it's this mid-range spacing where Fluxwavez is really struggling. And the problem is, that's the spacing that Fluxwavez picks Mika to avoid. You actively want to avoid being in this range, but Blanka is still not caring about Nadeshko.
Oh, I thought he was gonna. Okay, there's the zip line.
Wow.
Oh no, you're not going nowhere. Yo, the balls on Alex to throw these Blanka bars. Oh my god.
This is tough. Like, I don't even know if you make a switch, perhaps you make a switch to Poison and then hope that you can at least trade chip on a blocked Blanka ball and send out and contest. I don't rightly know. It really seems as though the goal is just to get in and mix to death. But if the neutral strategy from Alex is going to be to just up ball all over again in neutral and just eat up the entire screen, it's not going to work. You need to be more dominant in that mid range.
Exactly. And then of course Alex took full aware of that, knowing that Flux was sort of having a difficulty trying to get a read on Alex's movement. But when you're throwing the balls at 100 miles an hour, it's rough to try to get a read on your opponent, because Alex definitely was not sitting still at all. Very mobile gameplay, and he takes that game here. Let's see what the adjustment is from Flux.
I'm so curious. We went back to the lobby. I have to guess Flux is going to switch characters. I am not of the impression that we'll see Manat. Yep, switching over to the Poison. That's what I would have anticipated. I imagine we'll see like blocked Blanka ball into standing fierce into whip stance for a mix and use that to try to slow the game down enough. And then whenever you have bar, you can obviously EX heart rate to pull them in and then get a mix. But it's going to be a more expensive game.
Right. Definitely going to use a lot of resources just to try to get the offense started. It just depends to see what Flux can do, though. You said
already.
Right there.
Yeah, like you can already see really trying to be way more dominant, but the spacing on block of the Blanka ball does not lend itself to Fluxwavez being able to do much, but thankfully able to contest after a dash in. Okay, this is more akin to what I was expecting to see, and this is the type of matchup adjustment that you need. Ooh.
Get out of there. But you see what version that Alex is doing as well. He's doing the medium version of the ball, so it could give him a good more pushback there, so he won't be as close. Just trying to make the adjustment here. Didn't go for the anti-air. It's gonna pay for big damage. Molotov. Spin that catch.
I'm surprised. We've seen how much damage a V-Trigger 1 activation can get from Poison. You're lucky that you didn't die, and all of that off of not properly option selecting off of your neutral throw.
Oh my god. Alex? Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, hold the phone.
Yo, is this the week of Blanka? Is Alex trying to sit here and be like, yo, you can pick whatever character you want?
I don't care how many Royal Rumbles you want. Yo, hold this Blanka mix-up shenanigans. And the thing is, Alex also won last week's Casa, so maybe he's still riding on that momentum right now. Maybe a two-time champion. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. He is playing against, if I recall correctly, the only current 3-time champion of the Casa. I would need to double check that, but as I recall, currently the only person sitting with 3 Ws on here, getting the throw reset there off of the heel kick. Desperately needs this momentum. Nice whiff punish off the standing medium kick.
Next there with the spacing. Right now. We saw Alex in this position before, and we saw him make the comeback at Harry time. Let's go. All right, defense can only help you so much. Good stuff from Flux.
Yeah. That was such a great adjustment from Fluxwavez, just to be patient, find the opportunity to walk back and whiff punish. But there's something else I want to highlight from that last round. We've seen so often now that if Alex gets bar and he's stuck in the corner, he's using EX up ball in order to get out. And we're seeing Fluxwavez trying to cycle through options to keep Alex in the corner because it's so hard to play this neutral game. You really need to enforce that space when Alex doesn't have the opportunity to back up into Blanka ball range. So we're going to have to see whether he finds an answer.
Exactly. Just doing really good right now. Maybe slowing down the momentum of AlexDotDot is Flux right now has an answer. Looks like he's making those adjustments. All this, oh my gosh, so much blood on his lane. But oh no, the backdash could have potentially cost him. We know that Blanka can do it, but he won't do it this set as Flux takes it 1-1 right now in the top 8 on winner's side.
That was important, and you saw the story of this matchup evolving through the course of that last game. In the beginning there, it was still looking really good for Alex, but Fluxwavez was kind of finding his rhythm, finding, okay, I can contest at this range. At that range, you're going to back off into this range. I'm allowed free reign here. And you started to see into whip stance, micro walk forward and let go, really earning the little bits of space that he could because so much of it is a corner game.
Now you see Alex has to adjust his game plan right now. Knows that the previous set he did have the momentum, but because Flux made the adjustments, he has to now readjust his approach because Flux looks like he's ready at the helm. So he's doing really good on the spacing, just being patient, and he's slowing down Alex right now. And that could cause some frustration, as you see.
Yeah. Alex is playing real slow right now, and one of the issues with that is going to be so much of it, his movement previously was in Blanka ball and up ball that was building him a ton of meter. So he's going to be a little bit more resource starved going into this game. I feel like every time he's V-trigger activated in the last 2 games, he's been sitting on a ton of meter, but here only just now getting his second bar. The DP being safe as a result of the V-trigger activation.
Best, one of the best anti-air buttons in the game for free. Yes, Alex. Right now, try to get something going here. The Flux right now is looking really good.
Yeah, seeing more patience on the side of Fluxwavez now. And I like that he's picking the spots to really contest the neutral. Don't bother whiffing out something if you're not gonna get anything out of it.
The reaction to the rainbow ball? He knew. He saw, as soon as he saw that hop back, Flux was ready to pull the trigger and get the anti-air. And right now, it's just so much control on Flux's side. Complete turnaround, as we saw from the first set. These two played.
Yeah, I mean, Blanka needs to be played as like this up-close grappler character, right? What's happened is like once you have the life lead here that Fluxwavez has, Alex has to go in and start to use the remainder of his life as the resource in order to get in. And now you've just managed to corner Fluxwavez, but you're a 3-touch game, maybe?
Still a lot of work. V-trigger can only do so much, but this could be the... Oh no, it was just almost enough out of stun.
And once again...
So unfortunate.
And that's the second time now. He only whiffed a jab when Fluxwavez held up back. If Alex was ready with anti-air option selects behind his less committal options, that is the second time now that Fluxwavez held north out of something where he could have been blown up for it, and Alex wasn't prepared. That should have been his round.
Exactly. That's definitely a heartbreaker. And then that, and that's the thing. When you pretty much have that momentum of offensive-wise, you sort of cycle through your options because you have a set conditioning play style. You don't. Sometimes players don't think that they have the option to escape a whole north up, or they're going to jump out. So what they do, they use like a preset plan as far as like keeping their pressure going. And when one of those options throws off that game plan that you have, then it's just sort of like you sort of mentally reset yourself and like, oh man, he jumped out of my mix-up. I was prepared to do this. Now that he jumped out, I missed out on damaged opportunity. But those are the things you have to cycle through your head as a player, as having knowledge, is knowing when to, you know, sort of slow down and just know that your opponent may try to do a reversal option. But Alex was already too committed offensive wise, and unfortunately he didn't cash out and get the W. But this is 2-1 right now on Flux's side.
Round one.
Yeah, it's absolutely still winnable. We've seen it's not running away from him or anything like that. Gonna have to see. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. We've seen, I don't know if it's the V skill, V trigger, or both, but we are already seeing a change in response to the slower game. AlexDotDot changing out the V loadout, I suppose would be the term, to have a better mid-screen answer. Ooh, that keeps happening.
Let's see here, Alex right now trying to establish the pressure here. Didn't make the switch to V skills too. Maybe try to look at answer to punish those raw whips, allows him to get in from the knockdown. But Flux right now just doing so good at conditioning.
And thank you. Yeah, it's
oh my god.
Yeah, and it's the V skill too. Thank you for highlighting what I did not have the eyes to articulate. I liked the adjustment and being able to more actively, like if it's going to be a slow game, but you can still get V meter out of it, that's obviously still good. Okay, not ready with the option select again. And every time after that EX ball on landing, he's gone for throw there. That's why Fluxwavez is holding north now. It's been like 3 times that you've done it. 4 now, still no answer. You need to be ready if they're going to hold north.
Oh my gosh, 4. We saw 4 of those sequences within 20 seconds. Like Alex has to wake up. Yeah, he's falling asleep at the wheel here. Flux, he gives no reason for Flux to stop doing it until he responds. All right, there it is, the activation. He has to make it count though. Flux is just content, just blocking right now. Activates on his own.
Oh.
This could be in Alex's favor because he doesn't have a V reversal option. So this could be in time for Alex to go in a little bit here. All the resources is draining right now. Oh my goodness.
I think that ball
There it is. That's the overhead.
Oh, like
what? Okay, Flux, stop.
that was the 5th or 6th throw in that situation. The 4th consecutive neutral grab that Fluxwavez jumped out of. You can so plainly look at this and be like, hey, if you were option selecting anti-airs around these jumps, so many situations, clutch situations, would have been better. And obviously different characters have different options in those situations. Maybe you don't have something great, but you have an anti-air. At least get a flip tech into a mix-up. Get something.
So many times that we just seen Flux just jump in neutral like that, and Alex was just literally frozen, no answer, no response. And then even in the corner, like there were a couple of rounds that were literally just his if he had those reactions to close it out. But that gives him something to think about. He's not out of the tournament just yet though. That does push Flux into winners finals on that side, and Alex still has a chance in losers. But he now goes down to the shark-infested waters, though, of losers, where a lot of hungry sharks want to make it back topside here. And once again, everybody, want to thank you so much for tuning in and tuning into the Casa Street Fighter 5. Over $130 right now into the prize pool for these players. Huge shout outs to all donors and patrons for supporting the event. The B. Brian with 50-50 as what we saw in that previous match. The B. Brian with the 50-50 on that. Live Free or Fight with the 35-50. Taj 256 with the 20-50. Mine Shadow Ace with the 350. Dre Yomi Games with the 250. And everybody else who supported the Patreon and for this payout for these for these players for tonight. Thank you guys so much for that support. But the action is going to keep continuing. Brad, what do we got up next?
I am looking into the stream match queue to see. It looks as though they're still trying to figure it out, but what we do know is that Diego and Psychotic Chaos down in the loser side has not reported a match yet, so they may end up playing on stream. The winner of whom plays Marvisto in a 5th place loser side match. Alex dropped down where he gets to play Shin Akuma, and then waiting in the winners finals, we got Fluxwavez and Mooons. So that's going to be an interesting one. I feel like Fluxwavez versus anyone from LI is so commonly a finals match for these Casa events. It's always one of them. And LI comes through strong, so there's a lot of bodies that could be thrown at Fluxwavez. I've seen so many of those matchups so many times. I'm always excited to see it. This particular permutation of Mooons versus Fluxwavez will definitely be interesting. I would assume Fluxwavez probably still picks the poison into the Cody, but frankly, you never know. Fluxwavez has all these characters to be able to pull out on a dime.
Let's definitely have a good rotation of characters. On his end goes with the 3 ladies, so it'll be the 3 ladies versus the 4 horsemen of Long Island. Fortunately, one of the horsemen is out of the tournament, but the 3 that are still remaining, DiegoV, Marvisto, and Mooons, are still alive and well in the top 8. So getting through one of those horsemen here into the bracket would solidify yourself as far as like getting momentum going into the next game if you could take out one of these guys. Because like I said, every almost literally every tournament, there's always a Long Island representative in the top 8. So these guys have definitely been grinding, putting in work. For them to meet up at the home and enter these events, that just shows the dedication and hunger that these guys have. So it's no surprise when I do see them in the top 8. I'd be more surprised if I didn't see one of their names in the top 8. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. No Long Island in top 8? Wait a minute. What happened? Who didn't enter? But good stuff for them for always showing up, putting in work with each of their characters. Got a good variety. So they have, extensive training partners for the matchups. So they're pretty much conditioned as far as like playing in these long sets. And sometimes if it's your first time up in the top 8, being in this type of environment, it can be a bit nerving, and maybe nerves even get to the best of players. Like we saw previously, AlexDotDot and Flux, like all of those jumps that Flux was just doing, and Alex was just in a deer in the headlights situation. And had he capitalized on his options, I definitely think the games would have went much different. That would have conditioned Flux to stop jumping and try to find an alternative solution to that. But nonetheless, good stuff for Flux for moving on, and we're going to continue in with this top 8 as soon as we get our next 2 competitors up in here. Possibly should be DiegoV and Psychotic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so the voice of God in my ear tells me that is being played off stream, and as of right now, Diego is up 2-0. So the second that's done, we'll be able to bring you another match and be able to transition down to the losers bracket, which unfortunately will have another LI versus LI match. So we're going to have to pull some of that chicanery again as we end up playing Diego and Marvisto, where they're going to have to host it locally. And it's interesting that they're always playing together. My favorite thing is when we end up sitting in the staff chat, if I'm not commentating and I sit in the staff chat as we're all watching, and we just know how much fun they're having there at the local. Bunch almost ran through when he spent like a week in New York, and he like really considered just running Casa out of their place, and I'm hella mad that he didn't. All I would have wanted was the ability to hear what these guys are like while they're all sitting there in the back playing and doing whatever the hell it is that they're getting up to while they're playing.
Definitely know that drinks and good fun are involved with that, especially in that type of environment, because these guys meet up, nearly every week to do this. So, it's really something special when you have that support and that dedication for an event like this. And they even got their own nickname, the 4 Horsemen of Long Island, that you have to go through when you enter the Casa. Guaranteed to face at least one of them in the bracket. But good stuff for them from always entering, always support. And we definitely do appreciate everybody else that enters to and supports the Casa events here.
I like Jox's remark in the chat where he's like, when it's anybody in LI versus Flux, all 4 of them are sharing their power on the stake. I like that. And you know what I also like is all of our partners, the different people that are all helping us to run these online events through the course of this pandemic that we are still sort of trudging along through. Obviously, you guys have seen the graphics going on in the background of the stream, but you've got your Ronin Rebels out there still showing the love for Grand Blue. You've obviously got Next Level and Spooky out there showing support for Grand Blue, Street Fighter, and Dragon Ball. Everybody's out here. Everybody's out here trying to continue to ensure that there are places for people to keep playing these games, despite the fact that locals really aren't around. And all of us rely on things like Matcherino to ensure that we're able to make something great and have these prize pools for the players. We do have a coupon code. It is, the graphic needs updating, but it is Casa SFV 19. And if you do exclamation Matcherino, like I am about to do in the chat, and I understand that there is a delay, so you're going to hear that as I explain the delay, but obviously you guys can go there, and there's that free 50 cents towards the pot if you're able to do that. I think as of right now, we are sitting at, as I click on the link to get the most up-to-date value, 135.15, able to go to all these players. We obviously run one as well for Grand Blue, which is already concluded, but it has not paid out yet, so you can also go and do it for Grand Blue as well and ensure that they're still getting paid. We really love that we're able to, off of the support of everybody who's watching and all the patrons that pay into the Patreon and all of the partnerships that are out here making sure that we're all cross promoting each other, the fact that we are able to provide this platform for people to still play and still compete in this obviously ridiculous time that we're still dealing with is obviously wonderful. And naturally, fuck Comcast.
You had to just slide that in there at the end.
Yo, they're my ISP too. What are they gonna do? Turn my internet up?
I love it. I love it. What about Spectrum? Now, Spectrum, we need that one too as well. But
yo, is
right
Spectrum
now,
even a real internet provider? Who the hell is Spectrum?
Spectrum, yo, Optium, yo, all these low tier internet providers, yo, please. But nonetheless, though, you know, we still have to struggle with whatever we're graced with at the moment. Hopefully, you know, things could get picked up IP wise, but nonetheless, yeah, I think these events have still been fun. Of course, hiccups and mishaps do happen, but when the action does go live, when you know we're able to actually get it going, it's definitely a fun and nurturing environment, especially with all the new players and faces that come through to these events too, as well. So yeah, good stuff on continuously hosting these events, especially during times like these when we're of course in the pandemic state. Of course, there was always the rumor that the cure or the vaccine should be available by 2021.
I mean,
it should be available to everybody next year. So, look, I'm not gonna do a tinfoil hat theory on that. I'm just gonna read whatever news article comes up and is published about it, and go from there. I'm not gonna say, well, I think this company does this and this. No, I'm not gonna do all that. But we'll see what happens. You know, I of course, you want everybody to be safe out there. You know, still take precautions and measures. You know, going out if you need to. If you do go out, just be careful as you're out and about, as well. So, yep. So good stuff. We'll see what the update is from that match. From taking, we got an update. All right. So looks like it's contingency time.
Yep. We are jumping down to the losers bracket match of Marvisto and Diego, as Marvisto goes about setting up that local stream capture so that we are able to still bring this stuff to y'all. So please bear with us while we make sense of that.
Shout outs to technology for allowing us to have this. So, you know, Discord being the gracious host that it is. And yep, we are going to go for local play here. So yeah, this is going to be two of the Long Island horsemen have to unfortunately meet each other here in losers. Only one of them can prevail, but I think they both pretty much sit in each other's lap, as the chat said, giving each other power ups to whoever wins to continue on in the bracket. So we'll see.
They're
what
secretly
happens.
playing. It's 2 players, 1 controller. They've just put. It's like, you know those. You remember when they did like the Viewlix arcade panels, which were the width of 2 arcade sticks, but it was just one. It was like that massive Hori stick that was supposed to emulate. They have like the whole ass with like the 2 arcade sticks on it for local play. They're sitting down on the couch and it's on both their laps.
Yeah,
That's what all the setup is. It's not about the stream setup. It's not about Marvisto's local capture. They just got to make sure that everybody's got the stick in a comfortable place on their laps. And also, if I'm about to witness a Ken mirror in top 8 of 2020, the year of our Capcom, I don't know how to. Okay, thank God. I was not. I don't think I could take a Ken mirror seriously between these two. And it may be that I've watched one before, which may be part of why I'm preemptively eye-rolling the concept of a Ken mirror. So I'm going to operate under the assumption that Diego is on Ken and that Marvisto is bringing us the Ryu, if only for my sanity. And if that's backwards, someone please let me know and I'll drive off a cliff.
Round 1.
Well said. Yeah, you and then the result, you find out they were both. It was actually a swap. At the end, you're like, yo, what? So Marvisto was playing Ken?
It was me the whole time, Barry. It was me the whole time. So this is tough. Obviously, with a matchup like this, Diego is not going to be able to just freely throw these fireballs. Marvisto's lost 15% life, and he basically has V-Trigger. They're playing secondaries. Marv is playing Ken. Okay.
All right, here we go.
There's a bridge 5 minutes from my house.
Nice, it's the stun. Big damage. Oh, Marvisto looking really good right now with the Ryu. Using that
Except it's Diego, because they're playing reversed. So Diego is on Ryu.
Wait. So that's actually real?
Yep. No, we've got 2 people in the chat telling us this.
Okay. Yo, all right. But you know what? I think Diego was kind of playing some Ryu too as well. So yeah, this is completely a mind F right now, but
yeah,
we'll make it happen.
Yeah, as they're pointing it out about the play styles, yeah, Marvisto tends to play more fireball heavy when he does play a Shoto, and you're seeing the more slow, less wild Ken gameplay here, which is unfortunate, right? Because as I was alluding to earlier, now that I've resolved my mindfuck, is throwing these fireballs freely against Ryu is just going to hand V-gauge to Ryu. So that's really going to be something that's difficult for Marvisto to overcome in this matchup. Is like, how do you play a slow, methodical fireball game when all you're doing is giving them a resource that's ordinarily gated by your life bar? Oh yeah, that's for sure Diego playing Ryu. Now that it's been pointed out to me, 100%. Damn!
Ryu wins.
Okay, so first game going to Diego, and you can see there's that implicit sort of aggression as well. Even on a more defensive Shoto like Ryu, those dash in, dash out, using that parry a little bit more aggressively than you would traditionally see from Marvisto in the same matchup.
Round 1.
If the second somebody switches characters, though, I don't know that I'm going to be prepared for anything. Nice counter poke there from Marvisto, beating his way back to the corner. Still taking it slow. Life pretty even here. Lots of resources here on the side of Diego. Both players actually sitting fully loaded, walking forward just enough for the frame trap. Not able to kill, though. Oh, those standing short counter pokes, but low forward from Ken, especially with those flaming tips. Gonna be really problematic. Marvisto getting around on the board for himself now. Playing a little bit slower now on the side of Marv. I'm sure why the change is because they're playing with each other and they want to keep it interesting. You gotta believe they play with each other all the time. Sometimes you just want to keep it fresh. I don't want to play the same matchup with the same person over and over again for days and weeks. Marv trying to inch forward into that low forward range. No, you do not get away with these runs. If anybody's going to know, Diego is going to be challenging those. He knows the range. He plays the character. Nice V-trigger activation here on the side of Diego. Just a little bit left, but you are going to be able to challenge that. 1 round apiece here. 1 game up for Diego, but 1 round apiece in this game 2. Marvisto still sitting here, backing off a little bit. A lot of resources burned here from Diego just to earn a little bit of the space. Ooh, okay. Getting the side swap, a little bit unfortunate. I have to imagine that you would have preferred to not give up the side swap. You end up closer to the corner there after that knockdown. Now, Diego with his back to the wall after what would have been a fairly advantageous position. Marvisto running low on life. V-trigger activation has to be coming. Yeah, that was supposed to be it, but fantastic spacing from Diego to back up for it. A little early with the unblockable fireball, though. Getting the back roundhouse through the activation. Okay. Oh, the shimmy! And Diego taking it. Diego showing a great mastery of how to counterplay around Ken. If I had to evaluate this right now, like in that round alone, the amount of minute spots where Marvisto was just out of range or just not prepared for a particular tool to be utilized properly, that Diego was ready to whiff punish. That V-skill dash that was such a plain, clear V-trigger activation concept that Diego was able to whiff punish. Ooh, nice whiff punish there on the solar plexus punch, maybe answering back like, you know my Ken, but I know your Ryu. Still looking pretty good here is Marvisto. A little bit more V gauge, 90% life approximately, but already has 1 tick of V gauge. And the whiff punish on the reversal, that's gonna be set point now for Diego in the character reversal, winning in the most anti-mirror that there ever was. Reversing through the fireball once again now is Marvisto. Yes, I do need to keep looking over to the other screen to ensure that I have the names right. Curse you, Long Island, for making me second guess everything. So a little bit of whiff punishment here, or wish punishment happening preemptively, and yet another DP unfortunately blocked. Marvisto has been quite DP heavy so far in this set, but Diego's been playing very well, really utilizing the speed of that towards and back dash to play these fantastic ranges, and a really important jump in here from Marvisto. Gets the V-trigger activation, delays just long enough to get the counter hits, crouching strong. V-trigger activation could be on deck at any point here for Diego. Nope, just gets the DP, sweep into it. Oh, gets the hard kick Tatsu from full screen, throwing off the timing of the V-skill parry, and signs of life from Marvisto. Diego, though, still on set point to clean out the back half of this losers finals. Nice whiff punish, ducking the Tatsu. And that's some of the stuff that we kind of need to see here from Marvisto. Diego had that moment where he really showed his familiarity with counterplaying around Ken as a Ken main. We're not necessarily seeing the flip side quite as much from Marvisto. And I wonder if part of that is that, like, Marvisto is still trying to play to the strengths of how he approaches Shotos, and it's not necessarily something that lends itself quite as well to Ken. Maybe wearing that different hat is a little bit more difficult. Ooh, getting around the fast recovery of that B-skill fireball. No counter poke. Nice patience here from Diego. And just, we saw a V-trigger activation, but Diego's Ryu is at half health and going to gradually start building this. You really can't get away with playing a fireball game right now. It's not gonna matter. You need to force, okay, that's a strong way to do it. Getting that anti-air, that's what I was gonna say. You need to force Diego to transition into a fireball game so that you can take some opportunities. It'll do it. With all these fireballs, but V-trigger now on deck once again for Diego, but finds the uppercut, cleaning it out. Marvisto managing to clip that at the very last second, and that was such a long, drawn-out comeback. Marv was really sitting at like pixel health for so much of that set. 2-1 now, Marvisto versus Diego. Once again, the characters are reversed from what you might ordinarily expect. Marvisto rocking the Ken, Diego rocking the Ryu. Nice dash under to maintain the corner spacing. Making great utilization of the solar plexus punch. Stun mounting, really utilizing that solar plexus punch. Really trying to represent that as the threat in the neutral. And once again, doing it, really wants to control at that range. And obviously fishing for those big results. That was a deep stand Fierce, but doesn't get the combo. Back to this P1 side corner. Marvisto in dominant position, finally. But any pixel will do it. Gets the reversal, not blocked. An unfortunate drop. That could have been everything, but gets away with another reversal. At a certain point, Diego's going to recognize with patience, like just there, and Diego is back to set point. And we're going to have to see Marvisto going to have to turn down that intensity a little bit. I wonder if the nuttiness that he's trying to turn on to represent Ken is still perhaps a little bit unrefined. To harness the silver Ken is a difficult feat. It's like an infinity stone, like when they were in Guardians of the Galaxy. You need to be part celestial to properly harness the silver Ken. The oldest of fireball traps, managing to get 2 dashes in behind that fireball, still landing with that deep, deep uppercut. Oh, that standing short counter poke, and I've said so many times, Diego's counter poking off that standing short is always so good. Still obviously representing it here on the Ryu as well as the Ken. Confident in any Shoto toolkit. Oh, just activating Raw like that at the blocked standing short? That's interesting. Getting away with that activation, but now content just to play this fireball game, but life about even. If there's a time to be trying to trade fireballs, now is perhaps that time. No V-gauge, but gets the uppercut through the full screen roundhouse Tatsu. And just like that, Diego is able to take it over Marvisto 3-1. And the voice of God in my ear is telling me that Shadow Ace may have experienced a power outage. So we are going to have to see whether he is able to come back and rejoin me for the rest of this top 8. People's ISPs, people's service providers causing us all kinds of grief tonight, but hopefully all of y'all are still having a good time. Regardless of that, I know that I am, and I know that everybody else sitting here in the Casa Discord is. We appreciate all of y'all sitting down and hanging out with us through the course of the night. Who's on commentary? Yeah, Tico, it's me. What's going on, Tico? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're being safe. So as I look, yeah, that was Diego versus Marv, which puts Diego up to the 4th place match in the loser's side. Unfortunately, Marvisto dropping out at 5th place himself. And Diego gets to play the winner of AlexDotDot and Shin Akuma down there in the loser's bracket. We do still have one of the 4 remaining members of the LI 4 Horsemen sitting in the winner's side, waiting to play Fluxwavez in our winner's finals. Yo, and Tico with the 5 gift subs. Oh, that's very kind of you, Tico. Thanks for good looking out, buddy. Also, I hope you're being safe. Yeah, so I am looking into, we're going to be switching over to AlexDotDot and Shin Akuma to round out this loser side. As we wait, I think we are also coming up with what we are going to do to rectify the unfortunate loss of Shadow Ace's power. His power provider obviously heard that we were talking bad about Comcast, didn't appreciate that. Utility providers gots to look out for one another at the expense of all of the rest of us, but we're still here. Comcast didn't hear me talking about it. They didn't talk about my service. They're just hitting everybody with the collateral. As Cravata saying, we are currently sitting at the 135, and there still are those free codes in the Matcherino. Thank you for reminding me. It is Casa SFV 19, which you can throw there in the Matcherino. That is a free 50 cents to the prize pool, and all of us appreciate it. All of us love being able to, continue to show the love and ensure that people get to experience cool net play opportunities here in the COVID times. Right. And just like that, saving me from having to commentate on my own because I need to drink my water at a certain point is the doctor is in. What's up, Doc?
Not much. What do you mean you have to drink water, Brad? Are you telling me you have a water weakness?
What
Are you a hydro homie?
What I'm saying is that my phone buzzes every couple of minutes to let me know how many liters of water that I should be drinking. Yo, speaking of water weakness, actually, hold on. I'm gonna expose some glaring pop culture gaps that I have. But the other night, I watched Unbreakable for the first time. I had never actually sat down and watched the movie front to back, but I finally did.
Which one's that?
That is the M. Night Shyamalan superhero movie. That is Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. That came out in 2000, 2001.
Not familiar with it, but go ahead.
Oh, come on.
I'm not familiar with it, Brad. I'm sorry.
M. Night Shyamalan's only produced like 4 good movies, and 3 of them were his first 3.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, I've only seen the bad ones. So,
Like The Happening?
no. Like, didn't
No,
he direct
not
the
Unbreakable,
Avatar
the
movie?
Street Fighter 4 song. He did direct the Avatar movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Bear with us for a second while we switch commentary. Oh, wait.
Ah, we're back.
Yeah, Unbreakable, the Street Fighter 4 song, might be better in hindsight than Unbreakable, the film. Unbreakable, the film, like, for the period that it came out, I 100% get why people like it. But we got real superhero movies now, so, like, a deconstructed superhero origin story, like, it was Batman Begins before Batman Begins. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Oh, the song is indestructible. Oh, no.
But where does water come in, Brad?
Oh, right. So the whole premise, right, is Bruce Willis's character finds out that he is effectively the real life version of a superhero. Like, he's the only survivor of this awful train crash. There's not a scratch on him. And Samuel L. Jackson's character is this Mr. Glass dude who has like some degenerative bone disease where his shit breaks if you like look at him, right? So he's basically like, yo, somebody's got to be unbreakable if I'm hella breakable. And Bruce Willis is like, no, I can't be unbreakable. I, almost drowned when I was a kid. And he's like, water must be your weakness. You can drown too. And that's like the whole thing. So naturally, the first time he goes out to like be a vigilante, some dude throws him off a balcony and he lands in a pool and almost drowns.
All right, so I've seen the sequels. I've seen Split, and then whatever the third one was called.
Glass.
Glass. There we go. So I have seen those two. So I do know the characters you're talking about now, but I 100% forgot the title of the original movie, having not seen it.
So I had seen Split before I saw Unbreakable. I knew of Unbreakable because I feel like it's impossible not to know everything about M. Night Shyamalan's good movies because his good movies hit so hard and the twists were so great that they've been ruined by everyone for everyone by virtue of just general pop culture knowledge. Like, find somebody who isn't 6 years old that doesn't know the twist in Sixth Sense. So like, it's kind of hard to go back and watch it for the first time, right? But
I'm
Split
super glad
was great.
you didn't mention what the twist was because I've never seen that movie.
But you don't know the twist?
No, I 100% know the twist.
Oh, okay. But exactly, that's what I mean by the point. That's the whole point. Okay, so the Brian is saying he's never seen an M. Night movie. All right, so here's the thing. There's like a 4 in 11 chance that it's good. If it's one of those movies, the odds are that you already know everything about it anyway. Otherwise, it's gonna be hot trash, like The Happening or the Avatar movie.
Which, speaking of Avatar, I don't know if you actually care about this, Brad, but they were making a Netflix series with the original creators of the anime. And Recently, I think it was about a month ago. The original creators came out and said, Netflix isn't letting us do what we want. So we're gonna leave. We're no longer working on this project. Good luck, have fun.
I did see that. Apparently, the whole thing was they wanted to make it more adult, which is like, all right, but they're whole ass like children, right?
Apparently
You know,
not. I don't know if you've seen Netflix's latest attempt at a children's movie, Cuties, which that's where that conversation's gonna end tonight.
I'm not gonna. I remember I saw the backlash and then the backlash to the backlash where they were like, it's not the producer's fault. Netflix overly sexualized a movie that's commentating on over sexualization. And then people watched the movie and they were like, I feel gross. Let's go back to the original backlash. I have not watched it. I'm going to take a firm ass step back from that other than acknowledging that backlash versus anti-backlash exists.
So, all right, I heard dings in Street Fighter. So it looks like we will be getting our next match. It is going to be AlexDotDot versus Akuma level 2, which should be an interesting matchup. Where else did I want to take our conversation?
Interesting that when Akuma leveled up, he kept Akuma and didn't decide to multi-class. But I suppose that speaks to the strength of Akuma as a class in 5e, is that you don't really need to multi-class. Riding that all the way up to level 20 is still kind of the best way forward. And I do not know if this is the right audience for that joke, but I hope that somebody in the chat gets it.
I mean, I understand it's a D&D joke.
That's good enough for me.
I had so much fun last week with the producer who my co-commentator told me to roll a die for insight or whatever. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And in my ear, my producer goes, "It's D&D. What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I was like, yeah, it's like craps, right? You know, blackjack, you roll the dice, you get 21 and you win.
So I know my D&D party tends to watch the streams on and off. I hope this is a moment where they were watching that. We'll have to see. If not, they clearly low-rolled perception. As we go into this one, we're going to have to see how Akuma and AlexDotDot ends up working out. The only other match that we've gotten to see, or that I've gotten to see tonight from AlexDotDot, was that winner side match against Fluxwavez. Gonna see a much more aggressive playstyle here from Akuma. We're obviously gonna try to cheat much farther in with that space and really mix him on his own accord. Ooh, wake
Plus,
up
you're always
reversal.
got the
Gotta establish
breakout.
that early. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see how Akuma is on the crosscuts, though. We saw it work out very well for Diego when Alex was trying to use the EX Blanka ball to get up and over from the corner, and that crosscut just shut that down completely.
Yeah, I mean, I alluded to it in the winner side match as well. While Fluxwavez won the match, he never really found an answer to EX up ball to get out of the corner. So being able to have an answer in the form of an autocorrect DP is obviously a big deal. Ooh, the V-skill upper too? That has such a vertical hitbox. What an interesting answer.
And being able to connect it afterwards as well, that's pretty solid gameplay there. I can't imagine the opportunity there is very long.
Once again, that seems like it's going to be such a big de facto answer. Alex is going to have to make some really big adjustments to his approach in order to dissuade that as an option. Because right now, Akuma is showing so much familiarity with the matchup that he's able to pull it out in all these spots.
And then even this, like, jump back EX double fireball, that's insane.
Okay, blocking everything and managing to duck under what may have been a cross-up attempt into the low forward EX fireball, and Akuma is able to take this first game. I mean, the biggest thing, obviously, is going to be Alex needs to find a way around that B-skill up kick. And part of that is going to be, you know, baiting it, dissuading it as an option. The other is going to be, obviously, Akuma is going to it as an option from particular scenarios where it is a very learned response to Blanka's offense. So Alex needs to be a little bit unconventional as well.
That's kind of a Blanka mentality, right? Like, you can't be known. You can't know what you're doing because then the opponent's going to know what you're doing. So already some nice little adjustments coming through from Alex. Shinakuma, though, that level up has done some wonders.
Yeah. As we all know, at level 2, you get advanced Yomi, which replaces regular Yomi. Wow.
Yeah.
Even the air-to-air jumping short and walking under all these situations, the answers that Shinakuma is pulling out in response to AlexDotDot going to the air are very interesting.
Yeah, still can't really do much about the the V-skill ball into throw, though. And then to just walk up throw afterwards works out very effectively for Alex, getting his first round of the set. So it's coming together a little bit.
Okay, as an answer to the red fireball, that's nice. Getting in a little bit committal, but Shinakuma holds up forward to get out, and just like that, all the effort to move to the corner, wasted.
Nice little play there. Gets the neutral jump and still is able to get a full punish out of it as well. Shinakuma, like you said, does seem to have a really strong read on the Blanka, general idea. And being able to get some really good punishes out there. That one was just a little bit too quick. I think if that hadn't been EX, that would have worked out as we'd seen in the past. And even taking that trade, like, you lose more HP as Shinakuma, but I think you're okay with it.
Oh, that activation! It's so unfortunate. The Tord Sphere's in his mouth, and we're going to see Shinakuma able to cash out everything. Unfortunately, though, going to end up going into this next game now with nothing, and AlexDotDot is going to have all these resources on deck in the form of a full CA. And one thing to point out is there were a lot of interesting trade situations in that last round, and even a trade is something that works out decently for Alex. Akuma doesn't have a whole lot of life to be playing on trades. If that's what you're going to get in the neutral, that's worth it. So is that getting through the fireball, just like that, the grand equalizer.
Yeah, always can hope on a command grab to equalize things a little bit. And I mean, yeah, I think this matchup is actually getting a little bit closer. Having to spend everything last round to actually get the round win is kind of coming into play now, and massive outplay there.
Yo, that was... And that's what I mean. You need to be unconventional and tricky, baiting the reversal with the short Blanka ball to not go into range and punishing further round. What a fantastic offensive sequence there from Alex, pulling out level 2 and level 3 Yomi. Shinakuma got advanced Yomi at level 2, but that's still not enough.
No, it's never enough for a Blanka player. Always just need to be on the go, on the run, and nice little slide there. I don't think we've seen that too much yet this set, to try and get under these fireballs. It is pretty committal if you're in a medium range, but if you're farther away, like right there, that was definitely the right play to make. Just wasn't able to get the punish in time.
Okay, standing short as an anti-air there now. Being a little bit less committal is Shinakuma, which I think is a reasonable adjustment to be making after that last game.
All right.
Okay.
No demon grab there. Just went for the kick. Ooh, teleports out. Doesn't get punished for it either.
Oh, into the back throw, blowing that gray life. And now we're in the set play. Gets the cross up. You might be dead, sir. You are dead, sir.
Definitely dead. 100% dead. Electrocuted to death even. Very painful way to go. Don't recommend. But now, oh, he still gets hit. Definitely tried to V-skill a little bit late there.
Oh my god. Alex has managed to open up this game enough that he can hold forward and up forward, and he's just making a bunch of these correct decisions. Shinakuma finding a little bit of ground to stand on here, and tons of resources on deck as well.
That was a much better activation than we saw earlier. Does get the air punish out of it as well. Stays same side though. Oh, that was scary.
Okay.
That could have been bad.
I think the fear might have been either a proper punish into death, or if on the off chance that Akuma had gotten V-trigger, he would have been able to DP into V-trigger and have it be, less committal.
Why are you sliding when one hit kills you? That gets blocked, you just explode. Oh, he went for the overhead. No punish. Activate. This is it. The demon gets the game. He's dead. He's dead.
Wow. But
Yo.
again, burned everything for the 1W. And like,
Gotta make it work.
If you're gonna lose that round as Alex, that's how you lose that round. A slow, drawn out, heady game into a crazy all or nothing gimmick mix that costs you your whole resource. Next hit is stun for Alex. Okay.
Really coming in handy there. Stun bar now completely drained away. And it looks like Shinakuma is starting to get a little bit of, never mind. The CA available, not going to spend it though. Only needs one more hit and just the EX up ball just to completely deny any approach.
This is so tough. Alex is showing a complete willingness to just sit on his charge when he's got this life position. It's like, what are you gonna do? You come at me, I'll EX ball forward. You go to the air, I'll EX ball up. Look at that. Put it in the highlight reel. Sometimes I say, do a thing, and then it happens. EX ball forward the second you decided to hold forward on your arcade stick.
Brad
Two games to 1 from Alex.
Brad does have one of the wrinkliest brains here at the Casa. All of that knowledge transmitting from neuron to neuron. At least I think that's how it works.
Yes, I'll consult. There's someone in this house with a neuroscience degree who is not me. I'll consult them. But
Is there? Why are they here?
Yes, that's actually no cap. That's no cap, actually.
Damn.
No,
that's
in my house, not the Casa. There
Oh,
are multiple houses
okay.
at play here.
Oh.
Blocked reversal, and that was a jab DP from Shinakuma as well. Jab TP beats throw. That's a really hard read to be making defensively. Shinakuma's looking a little bit desperate.
Especially at this point of the game.
Ooh, the up ball landing hella late. Wow, I did not block that cross up either.
Or that
Next
one.
hit is stun. Into land. Ooh. Yo, you missed the jump in button. It doesn't even matter. It's Akuma's glass health.
Paper skin, glass bones, coming in clutch. Just
Every
like
morning
that.
I break up my arms, and every night I break my legs.
Yeah, look at this. Already shattered in oblivion. Already very low. Alex has been really big on adaptation tonight, and it's actually really fun to watch, especially as a Blanka player. Alex is, because it's, we often talk about how the Blanka player has to be crazy, has to just be wild and do Blanka things. But Alex has been in a situation almost every single set tonight where they've had to adapt, had to overcome, and just break the other player, and doing it through non-traditional Blanka means.
I think part of it too is, like, obviously he's a wild character, but the thing is about wild characters is, oh no, is that gonna work on block? Are you kidding me? Wow. That's an answer, certainly. And that's exactly the type of situation where Alex goes for a mix-up. Just buffering it out of the block stun. Yo, I don't care if I'm minus. And he takes the shirt off.
Is it a buff though, or is it a hindrance? He's got freer movement now, but he's got less armor.
I don't know. He's level 2 now. He might have unarmored defense. That's when barbarians get it. I'm going to hammer this D&D thing until you learn the game so that you can engage with me. And short Blanka into back throw, just like that. We're back to this corner. Even that trade is great. That was like a light strength trade for a mid strength damage on the side of Shinakuma.
Oh, does beat out the air fireball though. That's tough. But still has a good amount of V-Trigger left. Won't be getting a demon this round. I have to believe. Definitely won't be getting demon. Oh, but the EX up, wake up is going to give the set on over to AlexDotDot. 3-1 over Shinakuma. Going to be moving on here in the losers bracket.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really great performance. Great adjustment to what was on the board after that first round. And what I was in the process of saying before I was interrupted by a reversal super demon is,
how dare they?
In this game, we see some of these wild mix-up characters, and to the untrained observer, it might be that it's like, all right, you got to do some wild Blanka stuff, and who's going to make the reads, right? Like, it's a little egregious. But the fact of the matter is, there's decision making at all of those moments. Like, the difference between a Blanka ball on block and a Blanka ball that lands short is, I think he's going to anti-air me versus I think he's going to whiff punish me. What is he ready for? Like there's decision making happening at play there, and all of them are based around your reads on how your opponent is going to defensively approach the neutral. And Alex got that read there and got the sense for, okay, after that first game, this is what you're doing. You're ready with the anti-airs. You're ready to pull out, you know, the V-skill parries and the high hitbox anti-airs to knock me out of my stuff. But if I just slow down and make you whiff that stuff and second guess ever hitting any button, then I'm going to be able to just kind of run away with it. And that's exactly what we saw happen.
And we're probably going to see it again because our next matchup is going to be AlexDotDot versus DiegoV. You guys who have been here all night may think you're getting a flashback here because we have already seen this matchup tonight. Was in our winner's side for the opportunity into top 8. And Alex did manage to take a 2-1 over Diego. So will it be Doomsday or will it be Tuesday?
That's a good question. Here's another good question, because we've been watching Diego and Marvisto be switching characters through the course of the night. So please remind me, when they played in the winner's side, did Diego bring out the Ken or did he rock the Ryu?
It was Ryu.
Okay. So there's already going to be a question at play there as well, right? Is like, does he stick with the Ryu or does he go with the Ken that we've more traditionally seen him play?
So I think, and this is completely my assumption. This is not anything I have any information on, but I think that Marv and Diego had a bet going tonight to see who could make it further with each other's character, or with each other's Shoto, excuse me, because Marv obviously has the Honda player.
I see.
And so, you know, we are now at a point where Diego, if they had that bet, then Diego is now won it effectively because he beat Marv last round. And so if the bet was just who makes it further with each other's Shoto, then we see Ken. If there is no bet and they're just doing it for funsies, then it's going to be the Ryu.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it in terms of the matchup, like against a Blanka. Like, do you want the ability to rush him down more effectively? Like, I don't know that I want to try to play a fireball game like you might find with Ryu against a Blanka, because you have to worry about up ball over it versus jump over it versus, you know, crouch strong to slide under the fireball. Whereas with Ken, you can instead choose to play a more mid-range focused button heavy game. Obviously Ryu can as well. And when we were watching Marvisto versus Diego earlier, we saw Diego using a whole lot of the solar plexus punch, that towards Fierce, as a footsie tool in similar ranges to maybe a little bit farther out than we would have seen him off of buffering like a back strong target combo like you might see on Ken. So just because he's playing Ryu doesn't mean he's not going to play the way that Diego plays. The question is, does the character speak to the strength, and do you start to notice holes in the game plan where the character and the player are not fully in sync? Does Shinji need to get in the damn mech is what I'm saying. You know, is he in the wrong Ava?
Is that Big O?
What? Okay.
The anime Big O with the giant robots?
It's Evangelion, man.
Not familiar with it.
I'm just not allowed to make references when I'm on chat with you. Like,
no,
when
it's
you
fine.
and I are on
so here's the
I can't make you make me feel like a boomer.
I mean, all right, to be fair, you are a boomer, but
No.
So I am aware of Evangelion. I've never seen it. That was like because it's never been on like most streaming platforms that I've been a part of. I think it's now on Netflix, so I think it is now viewable by me. But growing up, it wasn't on Adult Swim when I would watch. So I would watch things like Big O or Inuyasha or, you know, these other shows, but Evangelion wasn't one of them. So like I've seen like, you know, other mech shows, but I've just never seen Evangelion itself. And I know it's like lights out good, but there are a lot of good shows right now to be watching.
Yeah, I've been meaning to. I know the Netflix dub caught a lot of flack when it first came out, but it's definitely better than nothing. I've been meaning to revisit it. I still love the episode where him and Asuka have to fight two angels synchronized to music. That's still such a sick episode, and the choreography in that episode is hella good. So if anybody needs to be recommended Evangelion for some reason, if they didn't already know, here you go. Go and watch that classic piece of mech anime, and strap in for a weird ending.
Fair. You know what show's like kind of bad, but like is pretty viscerally good right now? God of High School. It's almost objectively bad, but it's a fun show to watch.
I have not watched it at all. I've just seen every time a new episode goes up, I just see everybody tweeting about it, but only for that day. And then the next day, no one talks about it. It's like
it's pretty vapid.
You can only talk about God of High School when the episode is 12 hours old.
Yeah, and like that is very true because it's just very vapid. Like it's bad, but animation amazing. Show so. Story arc, I'm not sure there is one at this point, but I will definitely recommend you to watch it because it's fun and we all need some fun in our life. And what is this? What am I looking at?
We're looking at the winners finals of Mooons and Fluxwavez.
Okay. That I still had Diego and Alex in my brain. So I was like, why do I see a Cody? But no, this does make much more sense.
Yeah, so I was talking about this matchup a little bit with Shadow Ace before his power provider decided to drop him for making fun of his other utility company. But I feel like this ends up kind of a tough matchup for Mooons. Like, he's trying to play and build meter with Tornado and then get in behind Zonk, but the amount of life that you lose, you really need enough room to get the Tornado out and force Fluxwavez to like lose out on the trade. These trades are not working in his favor whatsoever.
Yeah, Flux took a couple whips to really learn which distance was the most effective, but now that Flux has, the knowledge, it's just dunzo. Like he's just now creating a zone of, non-entry, and even when you're all right, never mind, EX Sonic into rock throw.
So what I was gonna say is I feel like Galaxy Brain is you play purely for meter and just basically surrender that first game or that first round and be like, whatever. In the next round, I get to actually play because I can generate mix off EX Zonk. But the fact that he found an opportunity to get in anyway is very telling. And now here we are. Now he had resources. You see he immediately is playing more aggressively. Oh, dash in, dash out, the LI special?
Yeah, does take a ton of damage because that's what Poison does best. And already, we're basically coast to coast. Stun is a real possibility now, does get the activation. It's a forward throw, needs one more still. Okay, Flux, why'd you have to do him like that?
That's real tough. And so, like, it was so close to happening in that first game, but taking that strategy, right, of like, I'm going to play super defensive, super non-committal. I'll bet it all on once I have V-Gauge and a bunch of bar, I can cash out on a 2 to 3 touch game, or already have bar for the next round and move on. I don't think that's an unfair way to play this matchup because, trying to cheat in through the whip is going to be really difficult. And if you're going to trade life already, you might as well build bar for it. The issue is when he's getting in, he's teching and getting smacked for it.
I think that may work against a lesser Poison. But honestly, I think Flux is just so aware of that style of gameplay that it is incredibly tough because you've lost, 8 trades in a row due to the Fireball Whip matchup. And now you're on a pixel HP. You only have 2 EX bars and half a trigger. Like, even in the best of situations, this type of comeback is incredibly tough. It's such a mountain to climb.
Right. Difference being now in this next round, he has bar available, but with the life and like you can't play the matchup that way and lose out on a big situation early on. It really feels like it's largely all in and doesn't have the option select on deck for the neutral jump, but finds the back throw instead, has to back off and use the rock. Oh my god, Fluxwavez is hitting some fierce.
Jesus. Flux is all over the place right now. Is just such a lead activation. Little overzealous on the Molotov toss there. And the whipped command grab not gonna work out in Moons' favor. All right,
Oh,
was
is
that too
gonna
late?
connect? It feels
It
like
does.
it was not too late. But that's tough.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, his Oki on that is not stellar.
I mean, she
I
was
could be wrong
certainly
on that.
not in a good spot on the screen for him to do a whole lot. And the issue being, he's sitting there on a pixel. He can't exactly try to play slow. He needs to make it happen both for life totals and the fact that Fluxwavez is waking up with, 2.25 bar. So at a certain point, you risk a chip death again.
Oh. Yeah. Plus, I just recently saw a clip from Flux's match against Flex on Me in the Street Fighter Royal Rumble, and that was such a slow, painful death. That is how Flux likes to play. So with Moons now trying to get this aggressive, this sort of looking like his second best round of the set so far. He's getting some damage in. He's getting his activation. He's not holding down back too much. He's trying to get something done.
I mean, one of the things that's very telling there, though, is when Moons tried to walk down and really start some offense after that V-trigger activation, Fluxwavez felt confident enough to poke and press buttons through and counter poke that forward movement. Fluxwavez is not dissuaded by anything that Moons is able to do. And part of that is because Moons basically has two ranges in this matchup. In your face with V-trigger active and mixing you, or full screen trading with Whirlwind.
Oh, this is a very good round coming in from Moons. Couple good jump-ins, being that in-your-face style, not trying to do the weird fireball trades. Does have some, resources to work with. Trigger activation, gonna get caught shimmying. Still alive? No.
Oh my god, into stun on the Spire, you are actually dead, guaranteed.
That I have never seen that before. That was very painful to watch.
That seems like such a hard matchup. And I don't like Zonk doesn't quite come out fast enough to contest it mid-range like say a Boxer dash punch or a G dash low might. It seems really tough. You don't have you need to play a fireball game to force a ground game for long enough to open up the air, but your fireball doesn't come out or travel fast enough for you to actually control the screen. It's kind of tough. I wonder if at one point we saw a jump in that we didn't see the V skill. I wonder if V skill 1 as a option in the mid range to try to beat out the whip is an option. If not, could we have used V skill 2 and tried to backsway through stuff because the whip does have a hurt box, but then you're making these really hard reads on pokes rather than fireballs. It seems super difficult.
Does the backsway even get you in?
That's another good question. Does it count against the whip or does it only be fireballs? I don't even honestly know. It's such an interaction that I've never had to contemplate.
Yeah, not the two most common characters, duking it out at that point. But no, congratulations to Flux putting himself in another grand finals here at the Casa. Definitely, I believe, has the most grand final appearances out of any players.
If I am not mistaken, if I've not missed anything in the last couple of weeks, am I wrong in saying that Fluxwavez was the first 3-time Casa win?
Yes.
Okay. So on the verge of a fourth, I know we had a bunch of 2-time winners. We had BBW Messiah. We had Marvisto as a 2-time winner. Prophet. Who else?
No,
I just had the list
I'm
up
wrong.
a minute ago.
I'm wrong. It was... Are we missing champions?
We are.
Yeah,
It
we
looks
definitely
like
are.
the list ends at 731.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, because
Yeah,
it
Shine was a
definitely
two-time
flux.
champ. BBW Messiah was a two-time champ. Marvisto's a two-time champ. DR Mandrake, it looks like, might have been. No, I'm full of crap on that. But I would need to check the rest of the August matches to confirm. But if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Fluxwavez is the only person presently having won 2 or 3 Casa events. So perhaps
And
getting
that's
a
for
fourth
just Street
before anybody
Fighter.
catches up. But yeah, that doesn't include Grand Blue.
Which, looking at our Grand Blue champions, which also coincidentally end on 731, Flux was also a 2-time winner in that game as well. So definitely just solid tournament results. And yeah, we're coming in now to the losers semis between AlexDotDot and DiegoV. And now we're finally going to find out if it's Ryu or Ken.
A good ass question. And on top of that, are we going to have to go back to the LI Four Horsemen contingency, or is Alex going to send another LI player home?
And it is Ryu. So I think
Okay.
my bet theory is kind of debunked, unless it was, can you win Casa with your secondary? Which that seems incredibly difficult, but I think they are the caliber of players to try and make it work.
Already seeing, I was very curious how he was going to approach the matchup, and we're already seeing using Ryu's move speed and dash speed to really bait out just a very neutral focused fundamental game. Not seeing much in the way of fireballs. It's a lot of baiting that low forward and whiff punishing, and already getting a lot of mileage out of having that uppercut.
2 just raw fireballs in a row, also going to work out. Doesn't get the crosscut DP.
And this is one of the things I've always said about Diego, is his ability to rapidly switch between 2 types of ground game. In your face with buttons and with punishment versus a fireball game. On a character who has a slightly stronger fireball game, that's going to be very interesting. Just gets the stun, but do you have the resources on deck to be able to kill, or do you have to go for a reset? You do go for a reset. Oh, there was some hunger there.
The wake up EX fireball after the throw break. That's pretty wild. So many ways that can go wrong.
Yeah, I wonder what he hit Alex out of, but obviously believing that he was going to have the room in order to do that. Nice big jump in here from Alex.
Jesus. These DPs from Diego are always top notch. It's one of the best players in that regard that I think we have in the tournament, even whether he's on, you know, Ken or clearly the Ryu. But I mean, just always on, almost always on point. Does eat a huge bit of damage here. Oh, gets reset too. Is he stunned?
Just
No.
barely not.
Wait.
Oh, you have to be ready for the reversal there. His life depended on it, but I had alluded to the slide earlier, and that's what we're going to see there from Alex. 1 round apiece.
Back to DP City. Oh, no.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
We saw 3 for 3. And now
How many?
backing right after this fireball game. I'm so sure that you're not going to double dash out, double dash in. This man is dancing on you, Alex. You going to let him do it?
Yeah, those ankles are clearly broken. Slide coming in, getting a nice little breather, but back to fireballs. Cross up comes in, not going to work out. But man, this is such tight gameplay from Diego. Alex is going to have to adapt again.
Right, finding the back throw for signs of life, getting the V-trigger activation. Gonna have to see. You know there's a... Oh, I cannot believe... Oh, he didn't have a bar. I was like, how did he not DP there? Oh, so he DP's there. Okay.
Down tech DP.
Submit's been playing some Dragon Ball. He might have been playing some Fexel as well, bringing us the Fexel crossover costume. Which, this is a sick costume, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It just looks like scarred Ryu, kind of, with longer hair.
I mean, that's
but
fine.
I mean, that's me not knowing the source material, so that's on me.
I mean, in fairness, the character that is based on, I believe, is basically that game's Ryu. So,
all right, so it tracks.
although somebody in the chat is gonna be a big Fexel lore fan, that's gonna be like, actually, he's closer to Terry Bogard meets K-Dash or something, and I'm gonna get exposed by the Fexel fans.
Isn't Terry King of Fighters?
Yes, so is K-Dash.
Oh, all right. All right, so we saw a big reaching DP from Diego already just go unpunished. How many more of those will we see tonight is the question. AlexDotDot gonna punish that one heavily.
Yeah, going for the left right. Oh, waits just long enough. Finds the counter poke through the crouch strong. Gonna live through this. It's a one poke game. I cannot believe that landed on the other side.
Dan Cravat in the chat. Don't you mean Terry from Smash Brothers?
You're uninvited from the barbecue, Dan.
Oh no.
Alex up around here in game 2. Finding his rhythm a little bit, it looked like. And I mean, we saw it in the winner side as well. Really needed that first game at least to get a read on his opponent. Getting a 2-touch stun here with all these resources, I think he might be able to... Oh, went for the reset, needed to.
I mean, that was a pretty filthy reset attempt with the EX command grab, but then just crush counters something afterwards that just completely exploded Diego's day at that point. And so we are going to be going up 1-1 apiece now in this best of 5. Blanka is indeed looking pretty good tonight, Brian. I got to be honest with you. This is a very strong showing from Alex that we've seen before, and it vibes well. It bodes well.
Yeah, I don't know that it's Blanka. I think Alex just plays Blanka really well. It makes the character look good. Sometimes somebody takes a character that might not be super strong and they use that vehicle so well that you're like, damn, maybe that is a nice vehicle.
Driving a 1998 Honda Civic, but guess what? Only costs $12 to fill the tank. It's got 450,000 miles on it, but you know what?
Pre or post-COVID money?
Do we use money anymore? I haven't left the house in 6 months. Do we still use money?
All I know is there's a gas station near me that had gas at like 198 a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, all right, it's a shame that I don't drive anymore to take advantage of this. Okay, once again, getting the EX ball into V-Trigger into throw. Oh, still has the follow-up, still had the V-Trigger on deck to finish it out by the hair of his chinny chin chin.
Oddly enough, has no hair whatsoever. Oh, gets over the fireball too. Does get a little bit of a light punish. Look, Alex has changed this entirely around from game 1.
Well, part of it, right, is I've talked about how Diego plays that really mid-focused kind of footsie button game really aggressively. One of the things we're seeing from Alex is kind of less respect for neutral. We're seeing a mix-up of like just walking down and jumping now that Diego is dissuaded from doing so. But we saw a lot of aggressive Blanka ball even.
I mean, we're still seeing some aggressive play. Gets the cross up, but doesn't finish the combo. Doesn't need to. Grab on deck. Game 2 on the board for Alex. This is looking like an LIOCV coming in from Alex. This could be do it. I think the only one he didn't beat.
Yeah, I'm double checking.
Was
Alex,
Marvisto.
Alex. Oh no, that might be untrue. Alex sent Diego to losers and then lost to Fluxwavez. I do not think that. Yeah, Alex didn't play anybody else from LI, so we're lying. But he will have double jeopardied Diego if he's able to complete this match, which is always a bad feeling. You never want to be able to like leave the tournament and be like, oh, I lost to this one person. Unless that person
So he would have to play
wins,
Mooons if he wins.
Yeah, at which point, then it's looking a little bit more like he's playing all of Team LI. Going for that EX up ball to get out.
Oh!
Damn, the backdash to bait the DP.
Huge damage coming out from Alex once again. And activation station, keeping the damage train going, sees blood in the water, and is definitely looking to finish out this series strong.
Yo, Diego is so tilted. You can see how kind of frantic he's playing defensively now. We're not seeing that same control of the match that we saw in that first game. That control has completely ceded away from him. The amount of DPs we're seeing, DPs whiffing, defensive DPs getting red. Part of it may even be like the strength of the 3 out of 5, right? Like it's even longer for Alex to get that read. Although to give Alex credit, he beat Diego 2-0 in the winner's side to get into the top 8 anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking like it's going to be a 3-1 if this continues the way it's going. And we're seeing a lot less DPs this round coming out from Diego. Not feeling confident in them, has been severely punished by them, is back to throwing out fireballs, but now resorting to the V reversal instead of a DP.
Trying to play this fireball game, picking this slightly farther space, getting jumped in on a little bit, and that's going to be huge. Has one bar. I don't think you're going to be able to kill.
Oh,
no
the
need
cross
to
under.
reset.
And that'll do it. 3-1 in favor of AlexDotDot, double jeopardying DiegoV to move on into losers finals against Mooons.
Yes. So I did not get to see their winner's side match.
So neither
But
should leave the
having
lobby,
just
by the
witnessed-
way. Stay in the lobby because we're gonna Marvisto.
Yeah, so given that Alex and Diego in winner's side went 2-1, I wonder if we just saw an actual repeat of, like, did we just get the beach episode? Like, did Alex go down a game to Diego, get the read, and then come back 2 games straight? Did we just get to see a little bit more of that? Is going to be the question, but going to have to continue, as you had alluded to, continue having to play against Team LI. Gonna have to sit down with Mooons in the losers finals, and that's gonna be interesting. I have to assume that Mooons picks V-Skill 1 on Cody, because I feel like it's probably gonna cover your front and your back, which makes it a decent anti-cross-up option to deal with Blanka's nonsense, and might force him to play a little bit more honest, but I don't... This is gonna be another one of those character interactions that we just don't necessarily see enough for me to feel confident. Outside of, I definitely don't think V-Skill 2 is going to do much for him.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I feel like it is a little bit safer than just ripping, heavy EXDPs, because it is a V scale. It is that reversal option still, but having the back coverage as well can be very crucial, because we saw Alex get pretty close on those EX overballs in order to potentially get the cross up. We saw one amazing crosscut DP come out of Diego to blow it up, but for the large portion of that set, Alex was able to get out of the corner free of charge, other than one EX bar.
So we do see the V-Skill 1. I wonder whether that's going to come out in that situation. Starting with something of a fireball game here, but it's one of those weird, really weird things to suss out. Okay, already going to the slide, dissuading the fireballs, and dissuading that forward movement.
But it's not continuing. Like, we're still getting tornadoes. We're still getting slow advancement from Mooons. It's just the walk down pressure, and we're not seeing Alex try and be overly aggressive yet. There's the V scale coming in. He gets with the second part of the zonk. Oof.
Ooh, getting that nice back throw there does AlexDotDot though, and just like that, now you got to deal with this corner pressure. Pseudo throw loops, goes for the shimmy, but Moon's ready for the shimmy, counter poking through, using the opportunity to get his own V-trigger activation. Is the rock still coming down? The rock was indeed cooking, but not quite mattering. Oh, you might actually still be dead? You're actually still dead.
All right, that's nuts. And this is almost Moons' story tonight, right? Like, we saw this last game with them against Flux, just really able to put their stamp on a game, and then the comeback potential coming in and just completely ruining their day. Alex, so far tonight, being the master of that, has completely downloaded everybody they've played against, except for, the person waiting there in grand finals, Fluxwavez. And so already stunned up. This is
Ooh,
looking like
that's
a rough night.
Yeah, that's a big whiff punish, though. We're going to have to see whether he's going to get the chance. All right, throws out the rock. Manages to bait the reversal, no punish, and no follow-up after the crouching fierce. Big crush counter is absolutely going to kill you, and AlexDotDot taking this first game. One of the things, and I don't know how you would apply it in this matchup, but one of the things that was really burning Alex in winners finals against, or in winners side, rather, against Fluxwavez was getting blown up by not having option selects built around neutral jumps. That's not something we've been seeing people going to defensively against him. No one besides Fluxwavez has made those big reads defensively to be like, I think you're going to throw and I'm going to use this opportunity to get out of your offense. I wonder if that's something that we need to see these players coming to blow up that weakness in him.
Yeah, and it's tough because it's almost an Alex special, right? Like, we've seen this player do this all night tonight, and the adaptation from the other side has been a little slow. We've seen players get massive advantages, much like this one, but then it just seems to crumble once that V trigger gets activated.
And that's what I wanted to see. That's why you pick V skill 1, but still has to deal with this mix-up.
And the
And
throw.
we've already seen you can't really go to pocket sand. Oh, that was level 2 Yomi. It's like he heard me.
That's Blanka stuff. You know, didn't get the cross up, just landed and went right into EX up ball. Had that not worked, that would have been incredibly bad for Alex, but because it worked, we're praising him as a genius. Gonna get a back throw to the corner too. Good tech to stay alive.
No, he 100% bet it all on that read aggressively and holding north through the command grab. I'm beginning to wonder if Alex heard me. EX up ball, holding up out of grabs. 2 games up, looking real strong right now.
Blanka wins.
Yeah, I don't know if Mooons even knows what's going wrong. Like, you know, looking outside in, we're seeing things where we're like, yeah, Alex is doing this and it's working out really well. You know, we can see Mooons do this to try and, you know, combat that. But when you're in game, you don't always have any of that information. Like, yeah, he has the rest of the LI crew talking, being like, yo, you did this, he did that, combo with this. Like, but it's so much different to get that in your brain and transmit it to your fingers when you're just getting mauled.
Yeah, and there's something to be said. We keep alluding to the fact that Blanka is not a character who is widely played. So there's something to be said that there's going to be matchup unfamiliarity sometimes. And we're seeing it with all of these players cycling through lots of options defensively, trying to find something that's going to work to deal with what Alex is doing. And Alex is varying his offense so much that it's hard to find one thing that's going to work. The second you feel like you have a read on what you should be doing, you get blown up. Oh, I've been doing really aggressive, you know, Blanka balls and jumping forward. Nah, I'm just going to walk you down with tick lights.
Yeah, and then, you know, if you block the cross up, then you get EX up balled, and you're like, it was my turn. I was supposed to be allowed to play Street Fighter tonight. Mom said it was my turn on the
Tick
Xbox.
lights again? Okay, only has 1 bar. I don't think this gets the kill. Nope, has to do one more thing. Delayed throw tech, EX zonk into activation. You have to know that that's going to be the thing. It's all about activation here. Okay, what's the answer? Needs to be ready. No, it was command grab every time.
Blanka wins.
Is command grab scissors or is it paper? Because he did not throw rock.
I'm pretty sure it's scissors because Blanka is unilaterally rock.
It's go time.
Yeah,
Damn,
but
so a
Cody
3
literally has a rock.
I know, but Blanka is a rock. And maybe that's why the matchup didn't go his favor. Cody's throwing these little rocks, and then Blanka's rolling into a ball and hitting you with the person-sized rock. But
The
so
big rock.
3-0. AlexDotDot taking it over Diego. Now we get the run back against Fluxwavez. But this was really convincing when we watched this matchup in winner's side. It was 3-1. Alex got a game, but once Fluxwavez got that read and found the spot and the pace to play at, Alex really never got to do what he's been doing in all of these matches we've seen in the loser side.
Yeah, this is actually the one match I missed, so I'm not super I'm not super familiar with it. So I take your word for it because that's how Fluxwavez plays. And now it's up to Alex to get that adjustment in, that download in. You know, he's plugged his USB port or his USB hub in, USB drive. That's the word I was initially looking for. Uh, um, but it's tough because Poison has a ton of tools. Poison can do a lot of different setups to really kind of block what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and I remembering now, the one game that Alex won, Fluxwavez picked Mika. Fluxwave's initial approach into this match seemed to be to play Mika and really just kind of, if you're going to be in my face, I'll be in your face, but better. Already seeing the adjustment that AlexDotDot made at the end of their winner side set to switch to the other V skill to give him a different tool in the mid-range. Because what we had seen when they played in the winner side at first, when this V skill was not available, was that Fluxwaves really just kind of got to inch their way forward behind the whip stance, and basically it was a really long war of attrition that Alex unfortunately lost at the end. This V skill gives him another tool to try to deal with stuff.
I'm curious when he's actually going to be able to charge it up for the most part, though, because like we just saw there, the whip can be at such a range that you'll get caught. And it is, you know, a charged skill. It's something that they all kind of unilaterally share. And now we do see the trigger gone, but still landing hits.
And once again, the amount that Fluxwavez is getting away with just holding up back out of Alex's set play. We saw a double shimmy that was only a double shimmy because Flux jumped and landed, and Alex just did the second shimmy walk back again. He needs to go to something to blow up. Now, obviously, his anti-air special is maybe not always available, but at least get the flip reset.
So is the Blanka charge different than like normal charges? Because I know that it continues to build and you get a stronger slap as you charge, but if you get hit while charging, does it not undo the charge? Because it doesn't seem like it is.
I am honestly not sure. This is not a character that I have necessarily explored a whole lot. But we're gonna have to see.
Scaling.
Alex gets the throw, managed to get around on the board for themselves now.
Final round. Fight.
Yeah, just had too much scaling on that up ball combo, but when you end it with a grab, you're still able to do a ton of damage. Flux ready for that. Big damage. Oh, the EX whip hurts so much.
It really does.
Jesus. One more combo for stun. Needs a little bit more than a back throw.
Oh, that's a shame. Gets a nice jump in that could have gone to stun, but didn't confirm. Stun no longer a factor.
Nice little breakout there from Alex to keep the activation dream alive. But there's still a lot of health bar to go through, and not a lot left to work with. Goes the EX heart rate. Doesn't get the throw, though. Tried to grab him at that point.
But, I mean, it's very telling. That situation, it's so commonly throw. We saw Fluxwaves go for an early throw there because it was a throw tech, because that's how sure Fluxwaves is. It's not even a delay tech in that situation. You are going to throw me. Why would, like, Alex going for a neutral jump there? That's a read against the delay tech. The thing is, you're doing it so much that Fluxwaves isn't bothering to even delay tech.
No, there's just no need to. And so we do see Flux able to take that game pretty handily with that EX air whip. And do we think Alex has an answer? This much more active V skill worked for a second, but as you saw, just up forward continues to work for Fluxwavez.
Well, if nothing else, this is the most important thing. Already has V-Trigger on deck, and that's going to be a big deal. Okay, that's your button. The next time Fluxwaves up backs out of your throw, hit that button. That is the single biggest adjustment that I would like to see Alex making, and it's the same adjustment I called out in the winner side.
Dead?
Are actually dead. No, you're not by the hair.
needed to be in the fire for a second longer. Is getting some good chip on here. Lots of gray health building up, but not a true string. Gonna lose to the little light kick there.
Yeah, smart counter poke there from Fluxwavez. You know, equal parts that he needs it to cheat back in order to continue his offense. A, and B, you know that you've blocked for so long that the antsiness is going to trend towards a throw of some kind, which also requires moving in. In either situation, a counter poke ends up being a great option. And he had the life to leverage, so it's fairly non-committal just to stick out a stand short.
Flux out here just slowly walking forward, not afraid of any buttons coming out, and just wins the button war. Hits him first, gets the hit, tons of damage. Heart rate's actually going to connect. Doesn't even... Oh, jeez. Gets a second one, too. Doesn't need to actually get the mix-up out of it.
Okay, has to go for the cheeky dash-in back throw. What is even happening? That's negative on block, is it not? I don't know what just happened.
I mean, Flux got the counter hit.
Right, which tells me that maybe Alex overestimated how negative it was, and we just got hit with the I'm -2, but
not actually.
Yeah.
JK, unless. Oh man, did we lose the hat? The skin
literally
changed.
No, it didn't. It's just she's not wearing the lady wig and the glasses, which I did not know even existed. I did not know that there was a costume code for this costume.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen it. Liking this one a lot more. But okay, Flux, brick it out. Game 3. I see how you are. Already, very big lead for Flux. Alex trying to get something done with his activation. Just about gone. Is now fully gone. But brought that HP bar is much more even.
The fact that Fluxwavez was confident in doing a wake-up jab there in that situation, and I'm not even positive if it was a reversal. It might have even been like a delayed jab. Is very telling. Not worried about the Oki in those situations.
Dead?
Well, that's a big punish. You're actually dead. It's gonna be set.
Yeah, heart rate just does so much damage. Like, that was a good, like, third of your HP bar. And just toast. Just gone.
Damn. Set point for Fluxwavez. Alex has really not had a dominant round even against Fluxwavez since Fluxwavez picked Poison in the winner's side top 8. It just has not had an answer for Poison's control in the neutral or the defensive decisions up back out of the command grab. You don't even get punished for it.
Oh, he comes out of the jump over. Oh no. What do? You get the cross up, EX up ball. Trying to stay alive, keeping the dream alive. 2 EX left. Does have a little bit of trigger left. Is going to be able to spend it for the round. Finally able to pick one up is Alex, keeping that set point dream alive.
Yeah, I mean, really had to make a hella gutsy read there in order for that to happen. That was a very aggressive situation, and we've already seen that when Alex's back is against the wall, he's willing to make these really intense, aggressive reads and bet it all on that. And unfortunately, literally just gonna get tick thrown to death here. Are you dead? You're dead with a perfect to round it out off of just a clean round of tick throws and shimmies. You just got walked into the corner and died, and that's so dominant from a matchup.
That is... Yeah.
Like, the winner side of that matchup showed the development, like losing out on the first game as Mika into the development of a game plan through the course of that winner side on Poison, up until just now with the complete and thorough dismantling of what Alex had brought to the table. Just a fantastic showing from Fluxwavez, becoming at least 4-time now Casa champion.
Jesus. Yo, Fluxwavez, why you did that? Yo, Fluxwavez was walking from like half screen to throw him. That's... Damn. My man was trying to get this over with. Yo. Damn. okay, poison's kind of good, huh?
Yeah, he's pretty good at this.
Yeah, poison is strong. All right, well, thank you everybody for